Hot off the heels of all the speculation about the 14th Doctor sonic screwdriver being revealed imminently, the sonic screwdriver has indeed been revealed, and hot off the heels of that announcement, we've had the unveiling of Character Options' new replica of the sonic screwdriver available to order now. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I did a video about this yesterday, about the sonic screwdriver potentially being revealed, and that was scheduled to go out at the exact moment, not that I knew at the time obviously, but the exact moment that they then proceeded to actually unveil the sonic screwdriver, so that video immediately went out of date, but it was quite funny to see. But yes, I wanted to open this video very briefly with some thoughts on the new design before getting onto Character Options' toy version of it, because yes, I have some thoughts. So, like, everybody knows at this point, the Sonic was kind of first glimpsed about a year ago in Camden when they were filming for the 60th anniversary specials. We got that very blurry picture of David Tennant sort of holding it, pointing up into the sky, and we sort of got a vague idea of what it would look like, or rather what the top half would look like, with these kind of prongs aligned to this sort of centerpiece of like a blue light on the top. Obviously because his hand was kind of obscuring the actual handle of the Sonic, we didn't really know what that would look like, and I think that is the biggest surprise of this reveal, because there were fan renders that people had made themselves based on sort of best guesses basically, where it was like a completely ceramic handle, and yeah, what we've actually ended up with is something quite different to that. So we do have the sort of ceramic part there present in the middle, but also below that we have the kind of black leather section and then the metal rings below that, and then at the top half obviously it doesn't look quite how people had envisaged it based on those initial images. I mean, yeah, it sort of broadly looks the same with the kind of claw bits in the middle and then like the kind of central section as well, but slightly different. So my thoughts on this, I think I think actually my thoughts on this Sonic have perhaps kind of gone down a little bit from those kind of initial blurred pictures to the actual reveal. I do think the prongs or claws, whatever you want to call them, look a bit clumsy there, just kind of, they're sort of out in the middle section there. I mean, they do kind of spring inwards as well, it should be said. They kind of start off in an inwards position where they're not kind of protruding out, and then you kind of turn up the switch on the handle there, and then they kind of spring out into the kind of action pose that we've seen. But yeah, mixed feelings on it. It looks a bit bulky, a bit kind of shorter and squatter than the other Sonics that we've seen in the past. I do like the kind of the top section there with the blue lights and the kind of bits of metal kind of coming down from there, and the central column. I think that's really nice. And the handle, yeah, as well is nice. It's kind of quite obviously kind of, paying tribute to some of the other new series Sonics, it would seem. So obviously the kind of midsection ceramic bit there, is very like the 9th and 10th Doctor's Sonic. Then the bit below that is kind of like a dead ringer for the black leather section on the 11th Doctor's Sonic. And then below that, the kind of metal rings, the kind of the bronzes and silvers there. Once again, that's reminiscent of the 11th Doctor's Sonic and also the 12th Doctor's second Sonic to some degree. And also, rather peculiarly, the laser screwdriver that the Master had back in Series 3. And then at a push as well, you could kind of say the metallic sections on the top half are kind of influenced by the 13th Doctor's Sonic, perhaps, like with the Sheffield steel and all that kind of stuff. It's a more kind of vague thing as opposed to the other references here. But hey, yeah, I guess. Certainly, in concept, the idea of kind of bringing together elements of other Sonic screwdrivers for an anniversary Sonic is a nice idea, and it would seem this Sonic is only going to be sticking around for the anniversary specials, so I guess one of the shorter-lived Sonics in terms of screen time and stuff, because it is very heavily being marketed, as the 14th Doctor's sonic screwdriver, and it has these past elements there, like I say, so I do think Shooty Gatwa will be getting something different for the festive special and Series 14 and beyond. I also think that the initial video and image they released of this Sonic didn't exactly show it off in the best lights. I mean, literally, with that first video, which was very nice, very swish, like a kind of car advert or something, but the lighting was just so dark, and the angles of the shots and stuff were so close up that you could barely actually make out what the Sonic looked like. There were all these close-ups of the different elements, the different details and things, even like interior shots of the central column, it would seem, this kind of abstract stuff. And then the image they released after that, a kind of render, I think it is. It kind of looks more like concept art than the actual prop. But yeah, slightly better, but I still think it kind of isn't the most flattering image of it, maybe, like with the kind of the prongs kind of sprung out there. You know, it's slightly bewildering to me that they didn't release an image as well at the same time of the Sonic with the prongs kind of pushed inwards as well in the kind of neutral pose, because I do think they look a bit clumsy, like I say, and I don't know, I think the Sonic looks more elegant with them pushed inwards. But what we have got now, like I say, is the first official replica of this sonic screwdriver, courtesy, of course, of Character Options, the company that's been making Doctor Who figures and prop replicas or toys, whatever, sonic screwdrivers, way back, since 2006. It's always expected that there's going to be a toy version of the Sonic, pretty soon after the announcements of any new design. It happened, with the 30th Doctor sonic screwdriver 5 years ago, which incidentally was revealed 5 years ago to the day that the 14th Doctor's Sonic was revealed on the 19th of July 2018. So yes, on the morning of the 20th of July, Character Options revealed their version of the 14th Doctor's Sonic. It is available to buy right now. It's available to order at a price point of £30, which is more expensive than previous models have been, but there is some reasoning to that. Basically this is like the kind of first release premium collector's version of this sonic screwdriver, and then there is reportedly going to be a slightly cheaper one for the mass market at some point in the future. So Sonic is available to order right now, assuming the Character Options website is playing ball. It has been a bit touch and go during the day today. The website has been down for quite a long time. As always seems to happen with these announcements, they just don't seem to have like the servers and the infrastructure there on the website to kind of cope with the vast volume of orders of Doctor Who fans, ordering their new Doctor Who merchandise. But that's very exciting because it hopefully means we're going to be getting this Sonic, in our hands very, very soon, possibly within the next week or so. And indeed, if you happen to be at San Diego Comic-Con at the moment, you can actually pick it up on the Doctor Who stall, the Doctor Who booth, whatever it's called. I've seen some people already get it there, so yeah, by all means, if you're at Comic-Con, go and pick this up. Like I say, I think the toy and the images of the toy, it does kind of show off this Sonic a little bit better than those kind of initial bits of media, the video and then the image after that as well. Partially because, like I say, we've got images of the Sonic with the kind of the prongs pushed inwards, which I just think that looks a bit better, frankly, looks more elegant, looks more kind of Sonic-y. I'm not completely sold on the whole thing, of them kind of being sprung outwards yet, like the claws on Matt Smith's sonic screwdriver. That was kind of less obtrusive, I think, because the claws are at the top, whereas with this one, they're kind of in the middle there, and it just kind of ends up looking a bit like a bottle opener, if I'm honest, almost like the claws aren't meant to be there, like they're kind of some afterthought, or like it's some kind of fan design sonic screwdriver for a fan film or something. Not to diss the design, because obviously, a lot of thought will have gone into this, and, I suppose in the weeks and months to come, we will be reading about this in Doctor Who magazine or wherever, or hearing about it in interviews. The thought that has no doubt gone into creating this anniversary sonic screwdriver. But yeah, I think overall, it's not an immediate favourite for me. I do like the toy version of it, I will say, and I'm looking forward to getting it in hand. I've got my pre-order in already, so hopefully I'll be getting it sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think particularly with this Sonic, the shiny finish that we've got on this collector's version of it, the online exclusive, is really, really nice. It's not something we've had before on a Character Options Sonic. In the past, for any kind of silver sections on sonic screwdrivers, like the classic series Sonics, or like Matt Smith's or whatever, all those sections in metallic, silver or gold or bronze, have been painted. Whereas here, I believe they've been electroplated, or whatever the term is, where the plastic has literally kind of been coated with this metallic finish, which has given it a really nice kind of chromy, shiny finish, much more akin to like a proper prop replica or something. So I think that's really nice, and it's a really good move on the part of Character to kind of go for this higher end release, certainly for the initial release for the collectors. And then what I'm hearing is that those sections, because they were quite expensive to release, on the second release of this in due course, when it goes to the mass market, those sections will just be painted akin to the other Sonics we've had in the past. So that will be completely unique to this version of the 14th Doctor's Sonic, which makes it a little bit more unique and a little bit more special for this 60th anniversary year. I should just add as well that in terms of international availability, things are entirely clear, beyond the fact that you can go and pick it up, if you're at Comic-Con at the moment. I'm not sure what availability is like in terms of the countries and stuff in the States or Australia and things. I have heard, I believe, from one or two other people on Twitter, that the cost of actually importing this into Australia, for instance, is twice the cost of the actual sonic screwdriver itself, which is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. because obviously Character Options is a UK company, and I suppose they're not necessarily built for that kind of thing in terms of getting stuff out to other countries. It's not a big priority for them. But yeah, you'd hope with like the Disney deal and stuff, and with the show becoming more global, that there would be something put in place to get this kind of out to international buyers at a more reasonable cost for them. So fingers crossed something can be arranged there. But yeah, I'm sorry to all of you international fans that you're not going to be able to get this quickly, at least for a reasonable price. Fingers crossed for something better in the future. So I think that just about does it for this video in terms of my thoughts on the 14th Doctor's sonic screwdriver and a bit of an overview of the toy version as well. Like I say, available to order right now on the Character Options website. It is an exclusive to them for £30 with 5 light and sound effects features and opening and closing prongs as well. Yeah, please let me know your thoughts on this Sonic in the comments below, because I'm really interested to kind of see what people think of it. You know, do you agree with me that it kind of looks a little bit peculiar with like the prongs there in the middle and a little bit kind of short and squat compared to the other sonic screwdrivers we've had? And do you like or dislike the fact that kind of draws on those other previous sonic screwdriver designs so heavily as well? I mean, obviously we'll have to wait and see how the Sonic appears on TV before we make kind of proper judgments and that sort of stuff, but those are my initial feelings towards it, and I'd be very interested in hearing yours too. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.